I like anime, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the unique way of narrating a story, or its drawing style, or maybe because the creators can be as crazy as possible, especially when it comes to the ridiculous premises, like fighting to the death over box lunch, or giant robots duking it out in space. Or maybe because I'm just a weeb. But one aspect that stands out for me, with anime in particular, is its exaggeration. It's no surprise for people who've watched more than 5 anime, is that anime loves to exaggerate everything, from facial expressions to reactions. But lately there's been a craze around a certain kind of exaggerated reaction, and that is with eating food, with shows like Shokugeki and Kofuku Graffiti, who turn a simple cooking show into what is now nicknamed as food porn, kinda says a lot about how anime has progressed over the years. Not that I'm complaining. I talk about these shows, and as much as I like Shokugeki, I figured it's best if I go for the best food-gasmic show of all time, Yakitate Japan, possibly the inspiration for I Am Bread, a show that holds a special place in my heart and a benchmark for all forms of reactions. I'd watch the shit out of food reacting channels if this was possible. Yakitate Japan is a show about a prodigy baker boy who dreams of creating a bread that represents Japan, like all the other European countries. So at first glance, this looks like your typical food tournament type anime, with the main protagonist aspiring for a grand dream. How shonen.
中世、ヨーロッパ諸国が宗教や民族の違いで争った戦乱の時代。人々は自らの主食、パンにすら自国の名前。
From the get-go, you can kind of see that this definitely isn't a show to be taken seriously, with its unnecessarily serious tone at the beginning. While trying to talk about bread, I'd say it's putting the narrator's voice to good use. Now, what if I was to tell you that the reactions for this anime far surpass the reactions of any other series? You don't believe me? I wouldn't have believed it either before seeing this. So the first hurdle our main character has to pass is having to succeed a bread making test to work in a famous bakery branch. Due to reasons, the main character had to leave the tournament, leaving the side character to use his bread. Now prepare your booty for this. Yes, exaggeration would probably be an understatement. So yeah, this entire show is literally build up to each reaction of a new bread our main character comes up with, and every one of these reactions is delicious. I mean, satisfying. And see kids, back in my day, we didn't need this etchy shit. Now let me introduce the main cast. First, we have a typical shonen type main character, Azuma, who is pretty much perfect at his job. He's always happy and pretty much inspires people around him. He comes across as a naive village idiot coming to the big city, but happens to be a genius at math for some reason. He also has solar hands. Come on, it wouldn't be an anime without an ability. Solar hands are basically hands that are way warmer than a normal person, which allows the baker to knead dough much faster. And bear? I have no idea. Next we have the comic relief guy, inferior in almost every way to the main character and constantly competes with him. Although one thing I like about him is that the main character is 99% guaranteed to win any game. But this guy is pretty unpredictable due to both his skills and bad luck with the antagonist. He starts off as a semi-serious character but slowly devolves into a comic relief Afro man, although he still has moments where he shines. Because he wasn't gifted with the rare solar hands, he trained his body to achieve solar gauntlets. That sounds cool. By swimming a lot. I'm not sure if that's how it works in real life, but can't argue with anime logic. And compared to Azuma, who dreams of developing a worldwide hit bread, Kawachi wants to make it big in the baking industry to feed his poor family. Then we have the daughter of the company's president, Tsukino. She has a lot of sister rivals working in other branches that later get introduced. A high school girl that wants the branch she is in charge of to be the best. There's also some slight romance with her and the main character. Actually, scratch that. More like one-sided crush. Then we have the King Afro manager, a cool, suave dude, and is a mentor type character early on. I don't know, not much to say about him, but he looks freaking cool. The judge, who by far gives us the best reactions and is the main reason I watch this series, a super serious professional who loses his shit when he eats bread. Talk about a moe gap. There are a lot more characters, but I'm too lazy to list them all, and they're all fun. What makes this even more special is that later on in the series, when the reactions get even more ridiculous, yes they do get crazier, is that it actually starts impacting the plot. Without trying to spoil anything, I'll only use one as an example. At one point at the World Tournament, the gang are stuck inside a cave and the only escape is to swim underwater at an impossible distance for even an Olympian. But thanks to this bread made out of fish, it allows our character to grow gills and somehow make it out. Yep. There's also a bread that actually kills you. The police show up and everything, but it's a temporary death, and during the death you can chill around heaven. Japan has a pretty cool version of heaven. This reaction literally lasts half the episode. This is one of those anime that made me laugh so hard I could hardly breathe. But then again, I'm easily humoured. It's a nice silly series that is surprisingly longer than I thought, considering its premise, and the nice icing on the cake, or in this case, bread, I'm so funny, is that there is a segment that actually teaches you about the bread that was highlighted in the same episode, minus the reactions that come with it, unfortunately. But all in all, 10 out of 10. The real score is 7 out of 10, if anyone was wondering. Rushed ending, but an enjoyable journey.